Hey everybody, this is Polish Pete and I'm going to show you how to rig a football jig. The two major factors I look for when I'm choosing how to rig a football jig is size and action. Am I fishing a school of fish and I want to get that bigger bite out of that school of fish, or am I trying to get bit by a fish that are negative, that are not feeding at the time? So if I'm fishing through a school of fish that has larger fish in it and I want to get those fish triggered, I'm going to keep my football jig with a full skirt on it, and I'm going to put a trailer on that football jig that has a lot of action and upsides the bait. So for example here, this one's got really high action kicking claws on the craw trailer here. So I left the skirt completely full, and this style of trailer is going to kick like crazy on the fall. It's going to be a big presentation down there on the bottom and cause a lot of commotion. And so if you're fishing for in a body of water that's got a great population of fish and you're targeting those bigger bites, try a trailer that's going to have a lot more kick and action to it, and leave your skirt nice and full and thick. Next up is when most of the times I go fishing, the situation I run into anyway, and that's trying to get those fish to bite, right? I know there's fish down there and I want to get them to bite, whether they've been pressured or they're just in a negative mood. I want to compact up the size of my football jig, and I'm also going to compact up the size of my trailer. And I want a trailer that's not going to have as much action. It's not going to kick like crazy. It's a more subtle action to it. It does still kick a little bit to get a little bit of a reaction bite, but I'm looking for it to be a more subtle action to make those negative fish that are really taking their time deciding whether they want to eat this presentation or not. So I'm going to trim my skirt up and make it shorter here. I'm going to trim it right behind the hook point. So as you see there, now I've already made this jig quite a bit smaller than the next one in presentation just by trimming up the skirt a little bit. Next I'm going to thread up this chunk style trailer onto here, and as you see, this hook is long, but I'm going to go through basically the whole entire body of the chunk trailer. I'm going to thread this all the way up there and come up between the eyes of the chunk trailer and run it all the way up onto the collar here. And by doing that, I just created a more compact version of what I had before here, and I have a smaller presentation, more compact anyway, easier to get bit, that doesn't have as much crazy action to it. These tails, like I said, these craw trailers will kick, but when they hit the bottom, they're just going to stand up in a defense motion and be a lot more of a subtle bite for those fish to get. So when you're rigging up your football jig next time, just take those two factors into account, whether or not you want a big, crazy, wild presentation or you want a smaller, more compact presentation, and you'll catch more fish. Well, go catch them.